This is part of Remley's channel, 40k Theories. They're lore for newcomers. So if you're a newcomer and you have questions, highly recommend his videos. They're pretty good. They're pretty solid. Yes, obviously there's no bias. No bias at all. I definitely didn't voice in one of those videos. Definitely didn't.
Hello everyone, this is Narina from 40k Theories, and welcome to this new episode of 40k Lore for Newcomers.
She has such a lovely voice.
For this episode, nominated on Patreon by Reynarco, we will be taking a brief look at VASHTORR, the Archifane. This video will be a brief overview for certain events that may be explored in greater depth within additional videos within the future.
This art.
So, without further ado, let's begin.
Many there are who wish vengeance upon me, but they all have their price and their uses.
VASHTORR the Archifane, also known as the Soulforge King, is an exceptionally powerful demonic entity, effectively a demigod.
Let me just get ahead of this. There's been conversations about this before. This is her actual voice. Like, it's not an AI, guys. This is her legit actual voice.
Soulforge King is an exceptionally powerful demonic entity, effectively a demigod of chaos. Unlike many demons, VASHTORR holds no allegiance to any one of the four major chaos gods, instead remaining a truly independent entity that rules over the Forge of Souls, a region within the realm of chaos where demonic weapons of every kind imaginable are manufactured. In essence, VASHTORR serves as, for want of a better term, the primary arms dealer for the Dark Pantheon, providing each of the ruinous powers with the necessary material for them to continue playing the great game, the eternal conflict waged between the gods via their underlings. This in turn grants the Archifane an unparalleled degree of protection and an incredible amount of influence compared to the other powers of the war.
He's scary.
Indeed, should any of these gods dare move against his domain, not only would VASHTORR put up a fierce resistance of his own, but the Archifane would in turn provide the rivals of said god with more weapons, while naturally cutting off supply to the belligerent deity. Despite his seemingly innocuous status as the Soulforge King, VASHTORR himself is no longer content with his current position, and now strives for something greater, to attain true godhood and ascend to the highest position of power within the chaotic pantheon. The only question left to ask is just how far is the Archifane willing to go in order to obtain such a prize?
For to function within the limits of the real,
General
every key
Kenobi.
must possess certain facets. Bow and sham, color and paint, warts and bit, all are needed. That which I now fashion requires both mirrored facets, and yet but three, though I have.
The exact circumstances that led to VASHTORR's creation are unknown, though it has been speculated by some that the Archifane was brought into existence during an ancient intergalactic war and the subsequent arms race between those involved. There may very well be a kernel of truth to these claims, as VASHTORR is seemingly empowered by acts of innovation, invention, and curiosity undertaken by mortals, particularly those that are devoid of or otherwise lacking in compassion, ethics, or morality. Whatever.
If you're an engineer or a doctor, please take your ethics courses. Please. Please, please, please.
For the reason, VASHTORR is an entity that has seldom been seen by the denizens of the material realm, preferring to instead spend much of his time, or what passes for chronology to a demon, tending to his forge. Despite this, the Archifane's presence has been felt at multiple points throughout history, albeit rarely and with great subtlety. For instance, during the events of the Badab War, VASHTORR discovered that a small group of renegade space marines from the Astral Claws chapter had become stranded within the depths of the warp, and, upon freeing them from their torment and earning their allegiance, reforged the Astartes into shadowy, pseudo-demonic beings known as the Ushmengar. In more recent years, the Archiphane has begun taking an increasingly greater interest in the affairs of mortals, believing that with their aid, he can finally ascend beyond his station and become the next major Chaos
This is
God.
bad.
To this end, VASHTORR sought out Abaddon the Despoiler, the Lord of the Black
VASHTORR is powered by Call Noted. Shh, 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 shh. Don't say that.
Legion and current War Master of Chaos, in hopes of acquiring his aid in attaining the long-lost fragments of an ancient, arcane device known simply as the Key. VASHTORR believed that once this key was reassembled, it would set the Archiphane firmly upon the path of apotheosis and in turn grant him the means to become a fully fledged god.
Oh.
Abaddon was initially skeptical of the Soulforge King's words, but after VASHTORR proved himself to the War Master during a joint assault upon Magdalor, the homeworld of the Iron Angels chapter, the Despoiler agreed to enter an alliance with the Archiphane. Over the next several months, VASHTORR constructed a number of colossal, warp-tainted ships dubbed as the Arks of Omen, which would go on to cut a bloody swathe of destruction across the galaxy in their search for the missing pieces of the key. Eventually, VASHTORR came to learn that one of the key's fragments lay within the heart of the rock, the flagship and fortress ministry of the Dark Angels.
Good luck.
The Archiphane personally led the assault to obtain it, but was thwarted in this attempt by a most unexpected foe,
Wah, wah.
Be'lakor, the first and oldest demon prince of Chaos Undivided. Be'lakor and VASHTORR had grown to develop a bitter and hated rivalry with one another over the millennia, with the demon prince coming to despise the Archiphane for both his hubris and ambition. The two demons fought a violent duel upon the rock, even as their minions battled both against each other and the Dark Angels defending their home. VASHTORR ultimately proved victorious against Be'lakor, but thanks to the Demon Prince's actions, the Archiphane would fail to accomplish his objective and was forced to withdraw following the arrival of Imperial reinforcements, fleeing to his stronghold within the idolatrous system within a region of space known as the Somnium Stars. Unbeknownst to the Dark Angels, VASHTORR had already begun concocting another plan to acquire the key fragment from the rock, one which involved the ruins of Caliban, the chapter's ancestral homeworld. Much to the horror of the Dark Angels, VASHTORR had reforged the ruins of Caliban into a colossal battleship, an abomination fashioned from demonic energy and arcane technology that came to be dubbed Wormwood.
Oh, that's terrible.
Seeking retribution against VASHTORR, the Dark Angels, along with roughly 3/4 of all chapters born of their gene line, mustered their forces before setting course for the idolatrous system.
That's wild.
In the battle that followed, VASHTORR would finally succeed in obtaining the final fragment of the key, along with the components of a device known as the Dissonance Engine that was required to activate it before vanishing into a pocket dimension at the heart of Wormwood. While Wormwood would eventually be destroyed, VASHTORR later revealed to Abaddon that not only had he managed to activate the key, but he was now searching for the lock. A vault dating back to the days of the war in heaven that was said to contain the weapon, a device that VASHTORR believes will finally grant him the gift of godhood. But as to whether or not the Archiphane will ever succeed in his quest to become the next prime Chaos God, only time will tell. And that concludes this edition of 40k Lore for newcomers. If you like this video, consider supporting us on Patreon for more content. To those that are new to 40k, we hope you learned something. So, leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.
Well done. Very nice voice. Very pretty lady. Very pretty lady.